Imagine you are attending an interview and in the final round of the interview, the final hiring manager is asking you this question. Can you pick one out of the three things on which you want to negotiate? Number one is the role, number two is the salary, and number three is your flexibility. Work from home, work at your own space, or like whatever it could be in the flexibility space. Which one would you prefer? Take 5 seconds and answer it in the comment section. Now, in the ideal world, you might say to the hiring manager that I won't negotiate on all the three. I would love to have flexibility, high salary, and also a great role. But being realistic about this competitive market, we can probably expect one. Even two is a stretch, guys. So one, that's it. Now, in this video, let's talk about what are the positives and most importantly, what are the negatives that come along with each one of them and how you can resolve each one of them so that you are not in a constant stress all the time. I'm going to use realistic examples of different people, how they have handled these situations, and what is the reason for choosing these things. So let's get started with the first one, that is flexibility. And flexibility could mean for a lot of people working from home right now, or it could be working in your own hours. You will finish the task, but you might prefer to work at night, or you might prefer to work in the morning. It might be due to your family responsibilities or bunch of other things, but you want that flexibility and space. What happens if you pick up these things? The first thing is you might be working in a silo. That networking angle completely vanishes. Well, most of the times. And the second one is you might not be able to showcase your work to the best of your abilities to your manager or your client manager. And the third and the worst thing of all is if something goes wrong in the team, or if you're not able to complete an assigned ticket on time, the manager and the client manager will think, hey, this guy is not working. And that is the reason why there is a delay. And we can't even monitor this guy. So the blame will ultimately fall on not your capability, but your attitude itself. And that's an issue. Even if you work very hard, sometimes the problems are difficult. The technology problems are difficult and nobody can predict that, hey, you will finish that something in 2 hours or 1 hour. Yes, if it's straightforward, you'll finish it in 5 minutes. But if it is not, you spend a whole night and you still can't finish it. And the problem will be with your attitude for the managers. And what will you think about it? You will say, hey, now I'm not able to complete my work. I might lose my job. I need to start thinking about what will happen to me. What will happen to my EMI? What will happen to my manager? How will they scold me? I have so much going on this job. How will things pan out? Now, these are some of the thoughts which are very, very common. Living on the edge is different, guys, but this is constant living in fear. Not at all advisable for your health as well. So what can you do? The first and the most important thing is you need to remember that in the last 2 years, there are a lot of layoffs that are happening. A lot of the people that you might know would also have been laid off. Nobody, of course, says it out loud on LinkedIn. Not many will do that, and not many will tell their friend circle that, hey, I'm laid off, right? But they all recovered. Majority at least have recovered. And they are working probably in a better job, better role, better salary. Things will move on. It's not that you are stuck at something. You are not married to that job. So you will move on. So don't worry too much. You give your best shot. If things don't work out, they don't work out. That's it. But remember, there are always better opportunities waiting for you. You just need to keep pushing forward. Now you might say that, hey, I will be among those 2% people who are unlucky. Now, if I'll say you that, hey, you are investing in stock markets and out of 100% of the retail investors, 5% of the retail investors make money and 95% of the retail investors lose money, which bracket do you believe you will fall in? You will overestimate yourself in that situation and you will say, I am one of those 5% who will make money. We always overestimate or underestimate our capabilities, guys. We have to just follow the pattern. That's it. We will do along with how the majority are also doing. Now, coming into the second point, with respect to high salary. Now, this is an interesting one because you believe that you deserve that high salary. You have been working hard. You have been taking on extra responsibilities, taking on 2 roles at a time. And finally, when it is the time for appraisal, the manager says, unfortunately, the billing rates did not increase this time. So we can't increase your salary. By the way, even last year, the billing rates did not increase, but we still gave you a good salary because you were a great performer and we were giving out of our own pockets. Would you believe that? Nobody will do that. right? So the salary discussions ultimately will once again never be about your capability. It will always be about macroeconomic situations, how the market is not performing, how the clients are demanding a lot but they are not paying, blah 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 blah. And what do? You express your anger, you send out 2-3 emails to the leadership, all that happens, and then again you go back to your sprints. Now what can you do in this situation? The first and the most important thing in this situation is you need to know your market value. When you are getting into the job market, you will know how much is an organization willing you to pay. So you need to know that number. I'm not saying switch organization at every available opportunity, but at least be in the job market. Know what's the market value for your skill set. And hence, even if you are very, very comfortable in your own job, just keep exploring those job roles. Why? Because when these salary negotiations happen, you can be very confident and you can go to your manager and say, you have to increase my salary by at least 10 lakhs, dude. Otherwise, I'm going to put my papers on the next month first. The manager will be shocked. Why is this guy so confident? And the reality is, this guy is always in the job market. And that's a good practice because in the corporate world, it's all about give and take. If they see the value you are adding and if they can't find another person, they'll say, hey, why don't you stay back? I'll give you the additional 10 lakh salary as well. So please keep up yourself with how the market is moving. Now, the third thing is with respect to the career growth or the job role. This is very, very interesting because nobody can guarantee this. In a great product company which has excellent work-life balance, right? You spend there forever, and when you walk out of that company after 5 years, you will learn nothing. You are an unchanged person from a skill set standpoint. And in this 5 years, the world has moved forward. What can you do? Literally nothing. On the other end, you might be in a pretty bad culture, but the learning is immense. So even within 6 months, if you want to move out, there are actually a lot of job opportunities for you. So the learning, the career growth is sometimes not as related to the culture or the flexibility, etc. But the other way is true. If you have a strong skill set, if you have a niche skill, you can demand high salary. You can demand flexibility. For a niche skill, if there is very limited availability in the market, if you ask the recruiting manager that, hey, I want to work from home, what do they say? They'll say, okay, take work from home, but please do join our company. So it's important that you actually have that niche skill. Also on the other end, as we continue to move forward, the skills themselves are getting outdated at a very fast pace. Hence, it is important not only to learn the skill, but to learn that learning mindset itself. You have to be continuously pushing yourself, whether it is enrolling in a course or watching something useful regularly. It could be something up to you, but make sure that you are developing that learning mindset and don't stop that once you graduate out of college. Well, we anyways are not learning much in our undergrad colleges. So please don't believe that, hey, my learning is done. It has to be a continuous learning thing, guys. Now, coming back into which one is most important, I'm giving all these examples, guys, straight up from my conversations with different people, the reality that you would notice in your organizations as well. So do let me know if the reality is different for you. It could be very well be different, but this is the majority speaks. So please do share it with your friends and do discuss in the comments as well. What do you think? Is it the same situation? Is it not? And let's take the conversation forward. My objective through these videos is to make sure that I show you the reality and you decode on what your next steps should be like. And from these 3 career pillars, the growth, the salary, and the flexibility perspective, again, it's a very personal choice, but you need to know how to handle the downsides of each one of these choices. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.